Is it seriously already freaking Labor Day weekend? Like, if you don't know, my birthday's the 4th of July, so I keep all my 4th of July, like after, after Easter, no, Easter is in like March or April, and then starting Memorial Day, I put out all my 4th of July like decor in my house, right? And then I leave that shit up all the way until Labor Day, because 4th of July is my birthday, and so red, white, and blue, everything, and so that's what I do. Whatever, don't judge me. And so anyways, so now it's gonna be time to take it down, and I can't believe that like you have fall coming up and like Halloween. Oh my gosh, like where is time going? And I say this every year. It's like, where the hell is all of our time going? I have podcasts. In 25 minutes, I have to record podcasts. So if you're not listening to my podcast, it's called The Dating Detectives. It's so good. I really think that you'll love it. Hey, Daryl. I'm going to put this comment here so I can pin it from me. Okay. I can't, I squirrel. There's my, it won't let me do it. Why won't it let me pin my own comment? That's dumb. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just kidding. I take back what I said. Out there looking. Oh my gosh. Wow. So I'm so glad that your makeup made you feel beautiful. That's the whole thing, right? Is that sometimes we just need a little zhuzhing it up. I hope that you're healing nicely from your appendectomy, because words are hard, but that one isn't. Don't judge me. Anyway, so, also I have to tell you guys, Urban Decay sent me a PR package. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm really excited. So I can't wait to share what that is. You can never go wrong with Urban Decay. Okay, so let's do some makeup real quick. I'm just going to kind of show you like a way that I would do this with not a video camera. Like I'm just kind of applying my makeup for like every day. And one way that I like to do that is kind of come along the beard area. So if you're a girl or a guy, whatever, wherever you would have a beard, you know where beards go. Put your main foundation shade there, and that's where I like to start. And then if you notice that like your jaw is not matching your neck, you can add a little bit of your brightening color, like your lighter color, to that area to kind of make it match a little bit. Hey girl, hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I love when you guys come on here. So also, I have to tell you, yesterday, my son went to a friend's house, and he had never been to this friend's house before. It's a friend from school, and he had gone with him to this event that they have here in my town, downtown Plant City, and he went to his house after to kind of hang out. Well, his friend has a cat. Well, if you guys have been following along in my stories, you know that Ryan is allergic to cats, and we just discovered that he is highly allergic to cats. And so he goes to his friend's house after they go to this event or whatever, and he comes home later. It was like, he got home about 10:30, whatever, and he walks in the door and he's like, "Hey, mommy," and I'm like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you sound like that?" And he was like, not like, he barely breathed, like he could barely get a breath in. His voice was like wretched, like you could totally tell that like he was not doing well in that moment. And I was like, Benadryl immediately. And so I'm like searching for the Benadryl, like searching for all these things, and I'm like, why isn't this like right where I can find it? Which is normal. Like this is all new. Like this whole allergic reaction to cats thing is all new. And so I have this whole set of his EpiPen that the doctor gave him, and the Benadryl and the steroids and all of these things all together. He went and visited my brother a couple weekends ago, and so I left the whole set there. So he had to chew an adult allergy pill. Like disgusting, right? And like I told him, I was like, I don't care how bad it tastes, suck it down. And he takes some water, and I gave him some apple juice to get rid of the taste. But anyways, it was very scary for me. Like it's scary. Anyway, so I know that he's allergic to cats, but when he went to get his allergy test, he's also allergic to like cockroaches and anything that's green and grows, and dust mites, and he's allergic to dogs, and we have 3 dogs. But somehow, like, we've had these, his whole life, like, he's had these dogs and never had a reaction to them. So really, it's just the cats that he really reacts to, which is scary, because, like, I didn't know this kid had cats. He didn't know this kid had cats. Nobody thought about it. But then the parents were like, "Dude, are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so. I just have a little allergy to cats." And they're like, maybe we should get you home so that your mama can doctor you up. So anyways, this morning, Ryan wakes up and he is feeling very yucky. Like he's coughing and his face is like stuffy and puffy and so anyways, that's what we're doing today. We are laying and resting and getting him better because I don't like it. I don't like that he is like these allergic reactions. I don't like it. So anyways, that's what I'm doing today. What are you guys up to for Labor Day weekend? I am glad that it's a long weekend though. Allergies will appear randomly and pop up out of nowhere. Really? That's what I heard. And I was like, I hope this is super common but to be honest with you, he's never really been around cats before. Like, not really. And so it's kind of new. Like he's never really been around them that much. And this time he was. And now every time he's around a cat, it's like awful. Yeah, I wanted to do pool party, but not today. My kid is going to chill out and do nothing. So I can like baby him and force him to give me snuggles, right, Rye? What? I'm gonna force you to give me snuggles today since you don't feel good. He said, please do. Packing for an Alaskan cruise. Oh my gosh, Melissa, bucket list. Alaskan cruise is a bucket list item for me and my husband. So I'm thinking about trying to go next year on an Alaskan cruise. That would be amazing. So I would like you to message me directly and be like, this is how it was. I need to know all the details. How was it? Like, what did you love? And I've heard summertime is like the absolute best time to go on an Alaskan cruise. We're going on a cruise to a Mediterranean cruise from Greece to Rome. So we're going to Europe in October and on a like an 8-day cruise, whatever. And so that's going to be amazing. So we already have like our plane tickets and everybody's so excited and really, really stoked for that. That's going to be awesome. Also, you guys, if you haven't gotten this makeup yet, I don't know what exactly you're waiting for, but stop waiting. This stuff is so freaking good. Like I've gotten so many emails or like messages lately from my customers saying, oh my gosh, I feel so beautiful. Like if you're not in my beauty group on Facebook, it's called Freedom in Beauty VIP. And my customers in there are posting like gangbusters, like, oh my gosh, my makeup is making me feel so beautiful. And just like Lola said, like I had a whole appendectomy and everybody said I looked great and I feel beautiful. And I'm telling you, this makeup kind of just brings a little, I don't know, like it just kind of brings you back to life because when you look at yourself, you look a lot less dead. And you're like, oh yeah, that's good. So comment match or like get a free color, whatever, text me, whatever. Can they give him allergy shots? Yeah, so they can give him allergy shots, but what the doctor said was that he doesn't need allergy shots because the only thing he's super allergic to is the cats. Everything else is kind of like moderate, but not super crazy. So she's like, he doesn't need to be on something that's like every day. He doesn't need to be on shots or anything like that. But she did say that one option he could do instead of shots would be like, there's like drops that you put under your tongue each day, or there's a toothpaste that has, so it works with your saliva, to kind of get that histamine, whatever, into your antihistamine into your body. Anyways, she said he doesn't need that. And she said just if he starts experiencing like feelings of like congestion and like the sinuses and all that, she said then give him Claritin. But she said there's really no reason to give him like a everyday, allergy med. She said it's just not necessary. So I was like, anytime they say that he doesn't have to be on like permanent meds, I'm good with that. Like I would rather his body just kind of do what it can. So I was really happy to hear her say that, but I guess it's, to each their own. Yes, how to look sun-kissed without leaving the friggin' house. So, like, if you're a hermit, but you still want to look like you've been to the beach every day in the last week, get this makeup. Went twice on Celebrity Cruise, 7-day in Herbert. Oh, I'm so jealous. I forgot about Celebrity Cruise Lines. Oh, I only think about, like, Royal Caribbean or, like, whatever. And I keep forgetting about the Celebrity Cruises. The one that we're going on in Europe is the Royal Caribbean Explorer of the Seas, and it goes to, gosh, I can't even think of the names of the cities, but there's, by the way, I used to live in Italy, so this is going to be like really fun for me to like go and explore the areas of Italy that I've been to. Like we fly into Greece and then we fly out of Rome. And I was in the Rome airport when I was a little girl. Like, that's where we flew into, you know, when we moved there. And so I lived there twice. And so I've been there, and I kind of very, very vague memories of it, but it's still really exciting. And I remember when I was a little girl, and like my mom tells the story of how like, we're in the Rome airport, and I'm like, she's talking to my dad or someone, and I reach up and I grab her zipper and like pull it down on her jeans or whatever. And then because I was trying to get her attention and she wasn't listening, so I pulled her jeans zipper down, and she looks down at me and she goes, "What?" And I said, "God don't like Italians, right, Mommy?" And she's like, "We are in the middle of the Rome airport. I don't know why you said that." And it was, I don't know. I was like no years old. Like, I don't know. I didn't mean that. Like, of course God likes Italians, but I'm stupid because I'm like little. Anyways, it was just a fun memory that she's like, that's not something that we say. Local raw honey. Oh, really? So the honey will help with the allergies. That's interesting to know. I'm glad to know that. Thank you. I don't know nothing about that kind of stuff. Like, when I grew up, when I was little, if you weren't bleeding or actively dying, and if you still had breath in your lungs, like, you were fine, you were going to school, and there was nothing, like, you didn't need allergy meds or to see a doctor or anything. That's just how I grew up. Like, you didn't need any of that. So if you're coughing up blood, sure. But if you're like, my stomach hurts, or you're just like coughing a little bit, it's like, girl, get your butt to school. And that's what we're doing. Because we were like latchkey kids, right? So it was like, if we didn't go to school, mom was stuck. And like, she had to go to work, just a single mom. Like, you know what I mean? So she's like, you're getting your ass to school. So all of this stuff is like new to me. But as a mom myself, like, I'm like, no. We pay $1 bazillion in insurance. Like, we're going to see the doctor. I have to pay for it every month anyway. You might as well go see him if you're, having like signs of stuff. Okay. What else was I gonna do? Oh, it's so weird because every time I finish my makeup, I'm like, is that it? Guys, don't forget the setting powder. I know some of you have asked me, like, do I need setting powder? No. Should you use it? Probably. I only use it in my T-zone just to kind of lock in my makeup and kind of create a little bit of a blurred finish. It's really nice. See what I mean? It's really pretty. So today I'm recording the podcast and doing a little bit of podcast work, and then I'm going to hang out with my son and take advantage of sick baby. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy you said that, Sonia. That happened to me too in Texas when I lived in San Antonio. The same thing happened. We came home and our house had been completely robbed. I am so sorry to hear that, because that is so traumatic. Like, that, you do not forget that. Like, that is scary, and oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. Oh, that must be such a horrible, at such a young age. And I think I was probably the same age as you, Sonia, probably about 7 or 8. We lived in San Antonio. I was in, I guess about 6 or 7. That's crazy. That's awful. Anyways, so that's the stuff that's going on. Oh, by the way, the Mediterranean cruise we're going on is a saint trip. Like, it's a rewards trip that I earned by selling saint makeup, which is really exciting. And I wanted to ask you guys, like, probably not today, but maybe another day, like, I want to do a whole video on, like, the saint transition, because we have 1 more month, and then saint transitions the business model, which doesn't affect the customers, but I would love to know, like, as consumers, what are your thoughts? Like, what are your, like, deep, dirty thoughts on the whole MLM to affiliate model that Saint is doing? What's the story behind my username? So, Freedom. So my birthday is July 4th. So, like, Freedom, like, oh, 4th of July, whatever. So Freedom is kind of like, just USA, 4th of July, whatever. But whenever I started selling Saint makeup, it was like, they ask you when you're creating your website, like, oh, what do you want it to be called? And I'm like, I don't freaking know. And so when I ended up figuring out what I wanted it to be called, I was like, what does makeup mean for me? Like, what does it mean to me personally? And I spent the last 15, 20 years in my car doing surveillance, and that's where I learned to do makeup, and that's where I hid behind makeup as a mask, and that's where I got good at makeup. And so I started doing other people's makeup or whatever. And then I started, whenever I wanted to sell this makeup, I was like, what is it that I want to represent? I wanted to represent the freedom to have you decide what beauty is, right? So I was a plus size girl. I was a big girl. I weighed 300 pounds. I was always the big girl, and everybody called me the fat, ugly girl. It's what I was, right? But I wasn't following the trends in the magazines. I just wanted to do what I thought was pretty because I wanted to do anything that made me feel better, right? And so when I think of beauty, I don't think of what a magazine says or what someone else says. When I think of beauty, I think of what you think beauty is. So Freedom in Beauty was the name of my business. And so Freedom Barbie, I just kind of felt like Barbie, she's this classic all-American girl, but not only that, she's had more careers than any man had before they had it. So she is the woman who represents a woman who can do any job that any man can do. And I'm a private investigator. I'm only a PI because my college professor told me I couldn't because I was a girl. And so it's just this Freedom in Beauty, Freedom Barbie. It's just so representative of everything that I believe in as far as you're free here. You have the freedom to decide what you want to do with your life. You have the freedom to decide what beauty is to you. Beauty isn't what a magazine says. It's not what a trend is. Beauty is what brings your head from this to this. That's what beauty is. And so I like that freedom to be able to determine what our own beauty is. And so that's where Freedom Barbie came from. And that's kind of now mind you, when I chose Freedom Barbie, I was 300 pounds and my skin was awful and I was the ugly fat girl, as everyone called me. I never said that about myself. That's just what everyone else called me. So in my head, I kind of thought it. Anyways, so I used the Freedom Barbie even when I was not trying to represent Barbie. A lot of people are you're trying to be like Barbie. No, bitch. I said Freedom Barbie because I wanted to represent Barbie as the freedom that little girls have to decide whatever, right? And so now everybody's you look just like Barbie. And I'm that's because I lost 160 pounds. You know what I mean? But it wasn't because I wanted to ever look like Barbie. It's just because she's a classic American beauty and she represents literally every woman now. And so I just think that's really cool. I don't think a subject has ever recognized me from my videos, but I will tell you that, people recognize me in public all the time, but when I'm doing surveillance, you guys, it is a whole different, you know what I mean? It's a whole different thing. This is not me on surveillance. In my car, this is me on surveillance, but when I'm following somebody where they actually have to see me, it's not me. Oh, yes, that's a good question. I'm so sorry. Okay, so yes, if you want to build a palette, just a basic, get started. No, I don't have time for all this extra bronzer jazz. I just want the basics, Mackenzie. Don't try to sell me all this bullshit makeup. Just tell me the basics. This is what you get. A contour, a contour, a brightening highlight, which is your concealer. That's the bright part that goes here inside your Scuba Steve goggles, right? That's the bright part. The contour goes outside the goggles. So you're creating the shape and the brightness. So push and pull lights of dark. So we want that dimension. Your main shade for coverage everywhere else. And then a pretty lip and cheek color. It's a great place to start because it shows you this is how to create the simple dimension. And then when you want to add the different colors and more lip and cheek shades and eyeshadows and bronzers and all that, you can totally do that later. So if you're just getting started and you're Mackenzie, don't BS me. What do I need to get started? I just don't want to spend all this extra money. I don't trust it yet. Get these 4 shades. I will match you to a main shade, a brightening highlight, a contour, and then you can choose a lip and cheek color, the 3D brush, and get you a little palette, whatever color you want. Start there. And then once you get it, you'll be oh, hot dog, I'm ready to go. You'll put it on and you'll be okay, now I see why these people have these big ass palettes like this, because they want options and different illuminators, different lip and cheek colors and eyeshadows, and then you can have fun with it. But just to get started, do not get anxiety overwhelmed. Just focus on the basics, and that's what I can help you with. So when you do the color match, I'll send you a whole bunch of overwhelming colors for everything, but you can choose. And then you can ask me like, hey, what are the main shades, like the absolute like main shades? Do you use a 3D brush the most? No, I don't think. I use the blush and bronzer brush, the detail. I guess I use it. These are my favorites. The 3D brush is like, Mackenzie, listen, I'm balling on a budget. I'm bougie, but I'm on a budget. What's the one brush? I'm only getting one. It's the 3D brush. But if you're like, okay, I'm balling on a budget, but I'm gonna get 2 brushes, it's these 2. This one gives you a little bit more shape, smaller size for like the smaller areas, and then a really pretty like, you know, dusty all over, and then a nice, these 2, blush and bronzer and the detail. So I guess it just depends on like what your needs are, and then I can recommend the best brush for you based on what you need. Yeah, girl, we're in Canada. Go to, if you get color matched from me and you're in Canada, when you go to the website, scroll down to the very bottom where it has the American flag. It's like a little circle in the American flag. Click it, and then you can have the option to change it to the Canada flag so that you can shop the Canada site. And it makes it really easy. Yay! Yeah, so you can build your own custom palettes, but there's also collections. So if you go to the website and it says like, I think it says starter bundles or starter collections or something, and they are pre-built. So it's basically just, yes, blush and bronzer and the detail. So it's basically just pre-built palettes this size, which I took my eyeshadows out to do another look. But anyways, this is the 12 palette. It holds 12 of these shades. And so it's double, and then this one's a single. This is the 4 palette, and then the 8 palette is the one that's like the it's just like the single, but it's just so same size but double. So it's got your foundation, concealer, contour, bronzer, another highlight color, an illuminator, a lip and cheek, like whatever. So they're all different sizes. So you just choose what works for you. They're so customizable. I love them. So get a free color match, and I am like so able to answer any questions you have. Once you get a color match, you have my text, and we're texting, girl. Like, we're best friends now. Like, I'm going to ask you how your mom's doing, and it's going to be real uncomfortable because you're not going to have any customer service like you will ever get from me. And you'll be like, is she for real? Like, she really cares about me? And then you're going to be like, she really does care about me. And then I'll be like, I really do care. And then you're going to be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Because I'm like a prove it kind of person. So like, you can say all day, like, yeah, I have great customer service, but until you're in my text messages, you have no idea. You do not understand. Anybody here will tell you. If you want to order the same palette from previous purchase, any way to reorder previous shipment? I don't think so. That would be a good, let me write that down though, because that would be a good suggestion. But most of the time, I feel like whenever you reorder your colors, usually you run out of colors at different times because you use them differently. Like, you might use a really light amount of your brightening highlight, but then more of your main shade. So most people order them at different times, but I don't think you can do previous shipment, but that would be a good idea. Yeah, totally get a color match, I'm telling you. And then, like I said, I'm here to help you through all of it. So many people are like, wait, okay, out of these colors, which one goes where? And I'm like, I got you, girl. And then I have like tutorials and videos, and then I'm there to like chat with you, like whatever you need, I'm here for it. And I don't know, I have fun with it. It's my favorite job I've ever had. It's pretty cool. So anyways, get color matched. I'm going to go record the podcast. There's a new episode that comes out every Monday. So if you're not listening to it, it's called The Dating Detectives. It's really like ethical true crime, but like not like blood and guts true crime. Just like these people that are like did you hear the OnlyFans pimp episode? That guy is in big trouble, you guys. And there's like a lot coming out on him. So if you're not on the Patreon, go listen to the Patreon. From brown to brown with highlights, should I be worried about ordering the colors that you recommended me before I dyed it? No, I would get the same colors because when I color match, I usually color match to the root. So you should be fine. But if you ever want to get a new color or say, hey, I got my hair colored, will you take a look at my selfie and just see if these colors you would recommend? Most of the time, it's not very far off. So I think you'll be fine. Because I know what I'm doing. That's awesome. But that's a good point though. You guys, I'm not your mama. Like, I'll recommend some shades to you, but at the end of the day, you buy what you want. Like, you don't gotta buy what I tell you to buy. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not gonna twist your arm. I'll be like, look, this looks really good. But if you're like, I don't want to wear that color, then like, don't. You know what I mean? Like, this is about you. Like, this is about what makes you feel beautiful. Because at the end of the day, we want to feel beautiful and we don't. And that's a big problem for me. And because I know what it's like to not feel pretty. Like for 38 years, I wasn't pretty. And then I found myself and I was like, screw that. We all deserve to feel pretty. And that's what we're going to do. So anyways, okay, I love you guys. I'm going to go report podcast. Worst ex ever. Oh, I've never heard of that one. How did you hear? Oh, the baby daddy episode. Girl, when you're doing surveillance, like you just roll down your window this much, you can hear everything. Like they can't, people don't realize. You mean when they were outside, like when she confronted him at the house? Girl, you could hear everything. People are not quiet, I promise you. Okay, I gotta go. I love you guys so much. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye.